Hey there, everybody. Good to see y'all again. I see we are making Gambit references in the chat. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I've talked to y'all since I saw that movie. I liked it. I liked the Deadpool movie a lot more than I thought I would because I didn't care much for the second one. But it was good. It was really good. But most I've enjoyed a Marvel movie in a while, unless we count Spider-Verse, that is. That's cheating. But yeah, so no, it's been a bit. Yeah, I've started work on what's it called? I'm now a full-time Blocks Fruits dev, so that's been taking up some time, but it's been a really positive experience so far. Got to meet some really cool people and do some fun stuff. So that's been really nice. In terms of progress, I've been doing some tweaks to the UI. I'm changing how I actually handle things. I'm moving from this system called Fusion to one called React, which is a much more mature product in some ways. And also, it's this is a relatively minor change, but I'm still really happy with it. Check this out in the code. String paths. It's so much more readable now. Yeah, the that took a little bit to get working, but I now am officially compiling the game. So this is officially a compiled game, uh, which makes it, pretty normal considering most games are in compiled languages, but not as common for Roblox. But yeah, for the most part, I've just been doing that stuff. I can't say anything about the Blox Fruits updates for sure. Yeah, for the most part, I will not be talking about Blox Fruits other than to, mention it as to why I am no longer making the same progress I was before because, I had about 6 weeks where I could just work on Superhero Life 4 and nothing else, and that allowed things to get done pretty quickly. But yeah, so now we're down to about 10 to 15 hours of time a week I can spend on this, which isn't nothing, but for the most part, it's been on, string paths and making the UI look nicer. Um, though that the UI looking nicer isn't actually hooked up yet, but uh, you know, probably next week y'all will be able to see some of the UI just looking a little bit smoother, running a little bit faster, and be a little bit easier to maintain. The design itself probably won't change too much, but still, yeah, like that's pretty much the main strategy. Um, let's see. Yeah, the will I add voice chat to the game? So I want to have voice chat available in the game. I don't want it to be or at least I don't know how I feel about it being the default because I think voice chat is one of those things where it's best when everyone else is in like the same mode as you. Like if you are typing all of your communication, it's best if the people around you are just typing. Whereas if you're speaking into your microphone, it's best if everyone else around you is speaking into their microphone. So voice chat will probably be something that we use custom servers for. I don't know exactly how much I want to be the default versus not. But yeah, so private servers I think are the best fit for that, just because I see no reason to believe that the average player is a voice chat user. My audience has aged up due to the nature of time. Like most of y'all were 12 when Superhero Life 3 came out, and now it's that was 6 years ago. Um, but we do have to accept the fact that if Superhero Life 4 does go well, it's not just going to be bringing people back; it's going to be bringing in new people. And I do think the average age for the player is still like lower to mid-teens, not young adult yet. Um, so yeah, so this is I do actually have sort of a pipeline available to translate data. I don't know how I'm going to hook it up if I do, because but it should be doable. Like I did the hard part already. It's just now I have to do the boring part, and that's usually where I fall flat. Um, so hey there, Silent Sparrow. Glad you could make it. But yeah, so no, translate at the end of the day, Superhero Life 2, that's probably going to get open sourced a few weeks after, maybe, or a few months. Just whenever Superhero Life 4 is solidly in the lead, like where people are, when people choose between playing Superhero Life 2 and playing Superhero Life 4, and they all choose Superhero Life 4, that's when Superhero Life 2 comes out, like as open source. Really, it should have happened when Superhero Life 3 came out, but Superhero Life 3 underperformed, as y'all know. So, I can't open source it if that happens. And theoretically, if Superhero Life 4 does flop, which I really don't think it will, but we have to be honest with things. The I'm not going to open source whatever my most successful game is. It's got to not be my most successful game. That's just you know basic self-preservation. But yeah, I have faith in Superhero Life 4 too. I think at the very least, it's kind of like it's efficient enough where even if people don't like whatever initial version of the game there is, like I'm 26. I can spend the rest of my life iterating on it until I have something fun. So long as Roblox is around, I can continue to try to make Superhero Life 4 succeed. Just as whether it be a little side project, like thanks to working at Bloxroots now, I don't have the pressure of Superhero Life 4 being my financial, uh, you know, escape hatch. It's not like that's not the golden parachute option. Um, no, it's just something. It's going back. Superhero Life is basically going back to where it started, which is something I did in my free time because I liked it. And I think that that's where I made some pretty awesome games. And uh, that being said, doing game development full time has allowed me to power up what I can do. Like, just look at the game right now. It's much higher quality, I'd say, than any of my previous work. And that's only possible because I spent the last 5 years sort of honing in on those skills. But yeah, oh yeah, no, this community is so creative. I'm still shocked just how many cool things I see posted on a regular basis. Like, yeah, I want to get back to a place where I can see new fan art for the game every day. And also, I want to build out the world a little bit more. I want people to I want it to be a foundation for people to build off of. And I think that that's one thing I've come to appreciate more as I've grown up. It's that, yeah, a blank canvas, some people will use that to make something really cool. And you definitely shouldn't take that blank canvas away from people who want it. But, let's be honest, when you see fan art or just art even, it's usually of something you already know. It's like they took, maybe like a superhero. This is the target audience after all. Like everyone's made like art versions of their own favorite superheroes, and I think that I could be doing better as a developer in making this world one where you can actually make something cool out of it. And I don't think we're gonna have to change too much for that. It'll be more tweaks, like bleh. Prepare yourself emotionally for the fact that we're probably changing Captain Cool Guy's color scheme. We're probably going to go to a two-color one. I don't know which two colors, but four colors is impossible to make look good, as far as I can tell. Yeah, no, and we'll still probably have like hints of like the other colors, but like the main, we'll lock into like two main ones, like maybe red and blue, red and green. Like we'll get something working with that. Yeah, maybe we'll have it be like a Calamaton mode. You know how there's like a Professor Hulk? We can have like a Calamaton Cool Guy fusion or something. Um, yes, this is the CJ Oyster. Or let's see. Yeah, well, the thing about Superhero Life 2 shutting down is it's not so much that people would stop playing it, it's that every year that that thing lives on, it gets more broken. And I don't have the desire to maintain that old code indefinitely. That's why I made this thing to begin with, the remake to begin with, because that code is a mess, and I'd rather make new things. Given the time I have available, I'd rather make something new. But also at the same time, that means that that game is going to become unplayable at some point. And so to me, open sourcing the game is less of a people will forget about it and more of a I don't want people to have to. I want people to be able to enjoy it more than just memories of it. And yeah, I think that open sourcing the game once it's, past its prime and I have other, buns in the oven, as it were, uh, I I think that that's the right move to make. Hey there, Dub. I saw you in the Q&A chat earlier. I hope you were able to make all the posts you needed. Let's see. So what? Oh, let's see. Thank you, Kanikaza. I worked really hard on the map. I'm really happy with how the map's looking so far. Um, yeah, no, I think heroes. I think that you're onto it. I think we can definitely use the gold as the accent. I think that that works pretty well. The only thing is we're either going to give him a normal hair color or like we can't change his skin tone. Like we're kind of stuck with that. Like we might swap out the green for like a like the blue for like a darker green. Like I don't want to continue to have to balance all that palette. Like it's just because I want to make something which actually someone could look at and think, oh, I could make a really cool version of this character. And right now, I think that it's a bit too obviously made as a you know, it was intentionally corny, and I don't regret making it intentionally corny, but I do think that I'm starting to take the in-game universe a bit more seriously. And in that pivot, you kind of gotta you kind of gotta go from like the Batman 1960s Adam West thing to like the Tim Burton Batman, and that'll take a few changes. So yeah. Um, oh yeah, let me check that out. Let me check that out, Deb. Um, let's see. Can we expect a release date yet? No. I don't even. Yeah, I can say that right now I'm waiting on. So this outfit right here, the clothing stuff, this uses something called editable images, and you can actually see like this is a texture change right here, but it's dynamic, and that is not something which is live yet. So at the very minimum, we need editable images to come out before y'all can test the character editor. Once that's done, I'll probably have whatever version of the game is completed. I'll just place that somewhere. People can play it, get a feel for it, give me some feedback, and then I'll just keep on working at my own pace to make this game playable. Like you know, at the end of the day, this is more. I'm only getting about 10, 15 hours a week to work on this, um, and that's because I work like 60 to 70 hours a week. So it's a lot harder to predict, and I've never been good at these kind of predictions to begin with. Um, but yeah, let me check out Dup's Superhero Life clothing, purchasable. Ooh, the VCU clothing. Ooh, nice. Okay, if y'all want to see what I'm looking at, check out the community art section of the Discord. I don't have my screen to set up to share things automatically, but these are really cool. Awesome work. I think you'll really enjoy the way Superhero Life 4 is doing outfit customization because it's fully embracing that textured aesthetic. And yeah, so no, amazing job. Thank you so much for sharing. And I hope you continue to make cool stuff. And I hope I can platform that. I want my dream for like the Night Cycle community is just basically like artist animator TikTok, where it's just people making little animations, little drawings of like reimaginings of characters, of their own characters. And I think that's the good ending for it. Like it's just people being creative. And I think that if we can make it that and amplify that, that's a win in my book. Um, so yeah, let's see. Have I ever heard of the Vinland Saga? Um, yes, yes, I have. I really like it. It's one of those few anime that I can actually recommend to people without like an asterisk, you know, like a lot of anime. If you try to recommend it, you're like, okay, I don't endorse everything that is in the show, but it has a few good points that are worth watching, you know. Um, and I think Vinland Saga is definitely one of them where you can just tell someone like, hey, this is a good show, watch it. Yeah, and so I definitely recommend it, especially if you're interested in history at all. Um, it's also interesting whenever you see a writer like with Vinland Saga go and actually take some risks with the story. Like season two of Vinland Saga versus season one is so different tonally. It's telling a completely different story. Like the first season's pretty much your generic shonen almost, where like angry young boy goes on killing spree and is messed up inside, so he turns to violence. But he's broken. It's like you've seen that story a million times. Season two is about that kind of person healing and trying to make friendships and start their life again. And I really like that. I mean, like, yeah, it's just it hits different. I really like when writers take risks like that. I know it was controversial to some, but yeah, that's good. It's a powerful bait and switch in some ways, but I think it's kind of the necessary thing to do because you sort of bring in the people who are expecting that sort of generic power fantasy, and then end up getting hit with the humanity of it. And I think especially that's just a good message, a good thing, and also the music in that show is amazing. So, who mentioned Vinland Saga? You've got me off topic for too long. Okay. Yeah, but no, it's an amazing show. I highly recommend it. All right. Yeah, okay, let's see. Oh, also in case y'all forget, you can do a wield in the game. So you can shoot and slice, and in theory, it's like multiple different um, you know, you can have it just be one of them if you want. Like if you just want to shoot. This should support dual wielding as well, which is pretty nice. Um, Yeah. Check out the earlier streams if you want to see how much of a headache that was. Okay. I need to make it so that I think someone said I need to add like a fall animation, and I completely agree. But that is so far down on the to-do list. Anyway, let's see. I hope we get accessories through. Yeah, so I'm definitely open to adding like, legacy items from Superhero Life 3. Most realistically, we'll probably get stuff like weapons and masks because those don't require uh, any cage layered clothing stuff. Because it takes a while to make the layered clothing. And so, I think that I'll definitely be looking through that stuff. I know I actually have some pretty cool weapons. Let me check that out. Um, when I made this Superhero Life 4, it officially took all of the let's see, is this it? Where did I put them? Maybe? Is this it? No, that's not it. Sorry, I'm trying to find where I put it. Maybe it's this one. There it is. Okay, yeah. When I made this game, Superhero Life 4, um, I now am able to use the Superhero Life 4 assets. And that means all of the amazing stuff made by Ryan. So these are all like these bright color schemes are meant to show which areas are recolorable. So every single one of these are recolorable in these different sections, including materials. Yeah, so we have like look at how crazy you went on these. So we actually have good custom weapons, like, and we have them for the game. So expect to see these getting at it for sure. Um, but yeah, yeah, we're gonna keep messing around with that. Yeah, looks good. One interesting thing about Superhero Life 4 is that it is set in the future, and I definitely designed the city to be the present. No, it's not necessarily a deal breaker. In fact, if you think about it, most like think about like New York City in like the 90s or something, or heck, even the 2000s. It's not drastically different, but there are a few changes. And so, you know, adding in, some different, what's it called? Adding in some different stuff, I think will be very helpful. And I'm going back and forth now on whether I should try to keep this as like the Superhero Life 2 city at all. Because it is similar, but it's also different enough that I think we could get away with it, especially if I start adding some futuristic changes. You know, it. I think that'll mostly be small changes though, like having hover vehicles in the like a hover scooter or something, having a robots patrol the streets on occasion. Just making the sci-fi stuff kind of like the new Adventures of Superman. Like they just have robots in that place, but the technology itself, but like the city itself isn't like indistinguishable. Also, can someone explain to me where the heck Metropolis is? Because it seems like it's sometimes in Kansas, but it almost always has a coastline. And I don't know how to reconcile those two things. Oh well. Then also sometimes it's near Gotham, then sometimes it's not. Like Gotham's easy. Gotham is just New York. Where's Metropolis? Yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, it's what I don't believe that. What is it? Is Metropolis in New Jersey or something? Really? Okay. 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 If Metropolis is its own state. Okay. Yeah. Honestly, that's valid considering New York is a thing. Metropolis, Metropolis. The That reminds me how fun a naming decision it was in Megamind for them to call it Metro City and then him call it Metrocity. That is just such a fun little pun. Whoever thought of that must have been really happy. Like, you know. Um, anyway, but yeah, I thought, that's kind of the, why is he yelling at me? I don't know what that's about. All right. Yeah, I'm not debugging anything live on stream. We're mostly just doing Q&A, hanging out, talking about stuff. But yeah, it's yeah. One thing that I am pretty excited about though is building out some of the interiors. Just because, for one, I think that I've never been great at interiors, but I have gotten better over time. I've bought some asset packs. I can decorate things relatively quickly. Um, I have some procedural generation skills for when stuff is too tedious. Um, and yeah, I think that we're gonna get some cool stuff out of it, especially with like the prison. Like I I think that this is going to become a very cool area. Just kind of like the underground area with like, some laser bars or something like here, you know? Like this is where you're going to have some pretty interesting fights. Um, yeah. Well, the thing is, I do scale things properly, Hero. Y'all are just too short. I hit my growth goals. I'm 6'3". It's not my fault that everyone else gave up, or is still growing reasonably. Um, yeah, yeah. When I walk up to a door, this door to me looks too tall, but to y'all, it's just like, oh yeah, finally a normal sized door. Hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Superhero Life 2 apartments are iconic. I actually do like the interior for the Superhero Life 2 apartments. I did a good job on those. Not perfect, but like the little hangout area with like the big window and the bookshelf, that's good. That's good. I don't have any problem with that. I'm sure I could do it better now, and I will be doing it better. But like for the things I made in the game, that one aged pretty well. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Radiation Gum. I didn't hear you from down there. Please speak up. Hmm. Yeah. The 3'6". I wish I would fly so many places if I was 3'6". Just to enjoy the leg room. I wouldn't even get off the plane. I'd just get in there, give a big stretch, enjoy all of the space. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. That's why my scope is bad because my head is literally in the clouds all the time. It's just low oxygen thing, really. Um, yeah. It's actually funny because not only am I the I am I'm in Denver, which is one of the highest American cities. So I'm like extra low oxygen. Um, so if there's any parts you don't like about Superhero Life 4, you can just blame the lack of oxygen. Just say, oh yeah, he used to make good things, but then he stopped breathing for a year, and that kind of affected his work. Yeah, but everyone's talking about walkable cities. What about walkable oceans? Yeah, the occasionally I'll see someone make like a train schematic between like we need Russia to start behaving so that we can be friends with them, so that we can make a train line from Alaska to Russia and connect the entire planet with trains. You know, that's what we need in this world. Yeah, so the presets are interesting. I personally, what my dream would be for the onboarding for Superhero Life 4. Okay, okay, okay. Have y'all seen? I almost gave a really dated reference. I was gonna say Sky High, but I was a kid when that came out. Y'all seen My Hero Academia? I think it should be kind of like that. I think that's what the first time user experience should kind of be in the game, where you show up, um, you you choose a power, you choose a really quick outfit. Like don't get like I'm gonna have like an expedited version of it where like it already guesses your skin hair color, tries to figure out what you kind of would like, and then gives you a few basic preset options. Like really runs you through like a 30-second make your own super character thing. And then you're thrown into a class with like 10 other first time users. Like this is just a first time user thing, and then y'all learn how to do some training dummies, like get a high score. um, yeah, and then it maybe throws you into a quest in the main map where you go and like save someone from a burning building or knock out a bad guy, and then like you go to your apartment and play something, like just like the onboarding should be exciting you know and I think that's the most exciting way you can do it. And also, let's not pretend like My Hero Academia wasn't a pretty big, you know, influence on the online superhero sphere, you know? So I think that what's it called? So yeah, I think that that's my current plan for the presets. The preset people will be set free. They'll be characters in the game, but they're not going to be you. Because what the problem is when you've seen it in superhero life too. The second I make preset characters, the new users just become them. And then half the game is just a bunch of Red Rage clones, you know? It's not an ideal user experience. Frankly, I think it kind of misses out on a potential IKEA effect, where even if you just do a little bit of customization of your character, like 30 seconds worth, you'll still care more about it than some random preset or like an OC I made in 2017. You know, so I think that we can do uh, some pretty some pretty cool stuff with that. Really? I mean, I'm not surprised that's the second time I mentioned it because like back when Sky High came out, there weren't superhero movies weren't the same as they are now, you know? Like you had Spider-Man and that was functionally it. Um, I think we did have the Batman movies, but I wasn't allowed to watch them. So I was able to watch Sky High. Uh, let's see. I don't know what unk means. I've seen it used a few times. Is it just uncle? I mean, I'm 26. My parents had me when they were 27, so yeah, it's probably yeah. I am getting old. I'm getting old. The problem, the worst thing is I look older than I am. It's a little bit better now because beard's a little bit trimmed, hair's a little bit uh, you know not as crazy. Um, but if I'm not careful and I let my hair get out of control and I let my beard get out of control, Uber drivers will just be like, "Oh yeah, growing up in the '80s was weird, wasn't it?" It's like, no, I have no idea. Or like '70s even. I swear, there have been two who thought I was in my '40s, and I'm not ready for that. I can handle '30s. I get it. I look old. I've always looked old. I was shaving at age 12. Um, I'm not ready to be in my '40s. I need to. I can't. Like I shouldn't be able to have a midlife crisis at age 26. That's too early. But yeah. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, radiation gum. Shame you had to find out this way. I probably will be an uncle because realistically, my sister Ashley is the only one the of my family who will have children. So, you know, I think I'll be a fun uncle though. I'll like teach the kid how to swear and make video games. It'll be fun. And then I'll like give them annoying habits and then send them back to my sister. That'll be fun. Nobody tell her. It's going to be a surprise. Yeah, I'm going to teach him how to say Java. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm just hoping that like when I hit my 40s, I just kind of even out because you know how like men, when they hit 40, they kind of look that way for like 20 something years. You know, like they'll like a 50 something year old man and like a 40 something year old man, they don't look too different for the most part. So I'm just hoping that once that I'll plateau at some point and then just look like 47 until I'm 80. So that's my hope. I don't think it's going to happen necessarily, but we can dream. We have decades before I find out. But yeah, let's see. We need more stupid in a good way superhero movies. I agree. I agree. I think we're getting it to an extent. Like, let's not pretend Deadpool took itself too seriously. And Spider-Verse as well. That was very much a comedy uh, in ways that other superhero films hadn't been. So, like, I think people understand the genre well enough to have that kind of comedy. Like, even One Punch Man, that was a satire of the superhero formula. And yeah, we've come a long way since superhero movie. I do think that people are, ready and accepting of these kind of entries. That being said, nothing gets stale faster than a comedy formula. You know, like that's like the last stage of a culture thing. You know, like you have like it happened with horror movies too, where it's like you'll have like a decade with good horror movies, and then you'll have a bunch of like ironic versions, and then people will just get kind of tired of it. You know, because irony and comedy can be fun, but I don't think it doesn't stick with people in the same way. Like I enjoyed Deadpool 3 a lot. It was very funny moments. Um, Logan will actually stick with me though, you know? Like that movie was a really good movie. I really liked it. Um, maybe there's something about seeing an old bearded man who's a kind of grumpy. Maybe something about that just rings true with me. I don't know. I don't know what that's about, but uh, yeah. Honestly, biggest regret. When I was in college, I had a friend named Demi who was a short brown girl, and we almost cosplayed as Logan and Logan's daughter. Um, and then the pandemic happened, and so we didn't. But yeah, no, that would have been fun. Yeah, but let's see. But yeah, no, like for the most part. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that like that Captain America movie's coming out. I'm not ready for it. I mean, in fairness, John, I have had this beard since I was 12. Not as full. I think the point where I could grow it out to be this full was like 14, I think. But I could have a beard very early on. I don't know. It, I took a DNA test once and it said I'm like more Neanderthal than an absurd amount of the population. So maybe it's part of that. Um, but yeah, the, yeah, no, every time I move to Colorado, the Bigfoot sightings spike. Yeah, so yeah, no, I'm not a fan of Professor Hulk either, King. I think that it's easily the most boring version of the character because it's just Superman, isn't it? Like a mild-mannered, reasonable guy who is strong. Like, and at least Superman, there's kind of like a vulnerability there. Like, Professor Hulk is just a chill guy without too much depth. Um, he just became less interesting. Hmm. Like, yes, yeah, it's like he went to therapy and now he's like just normal and not, inflicting random, uh, you know, natural disasters wherever he goes. Yeah. I'm Harrison Ford is an interesting casting for Red Hulk because on the one hand, he is the perfect grumpy old dude. On the other hand, he really only plays Harrison Ford, you know? So, yeah. I mean, it doesn't help that the CGI looks pretty rough. Let's see. Oh no. You've made a reference to something I don't actually know. I don't actually know too much about comic books. I'll like get stuff adjacent, but I'll listen to audiobooks. I'll do that on occasion. But like sitting down and looking at a comic book or even a manga, um, it's just finding the time for it. I pretty much work all day, all night, and then sleep. I'll bike 12 miles to keep myself healthy and, try to get, all of that figured out. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'll take one day of the week to relax, but even then, that day has become a half day. Eh, I think that when it comes to my momentum, I've found that it's a lot easier for me to just continuously move forward. Like I don't burn out if I keep accelerating. Um, I can go like I've been working hard doing stuff pretty much nonstop without pausing for more than a single day or two since what, January? Like even before that, even I was working in January. No, like it, yeah, I guess January, February, because I was there was a weekend when I was in Brazil where I didn't really have internet access, so I couldn't work. I was prevented from it. Yeah, the so yeah, don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. It's so yeah, I'm just gonna keep on making cool stuff, and yeah, the expanded universe NCEU. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like I'm fine with. I think that that makes sense. I don't really know too much about the. Honestly, NCEU works a lot better because SHL is probably not going to age super well because, like, okay, we all know this, right? We have to have a talk. Um, Superheroes one word, and at some point we have to recognize this. And SL just doesn't sound good. And so, when that happens, NCEU might be the direction to go, or NCU or something. I don't know. Because SHL, yeah, yeah, I actually put a space between every letter of superhero. Yeah, so yeah, I probably Superhero Life 4 will be just superhero one word life 4. And then I'll just quietly go through and rename all the other ones. Because it's just like it's been on the one hand, like yeah, it's been almost 9 years since Superhero Life started as a franchise. But on the other hand, like when somebody sends me a text about Superhero Life, unless they're actively playing it, they'll make it one word. Like I'm not fooling anyone. People are just missing the mistake I made when I was 16. So yeah, I hyphenation is something I considered, but like that was a stopgap essentially. But at the end of the day, like it's embarrassing enough to have to rename it. Let's just do it once. Let's just get it over with. Superheroes, one word. We've come to terms with this. Yeah. I'll have like my therapist on call just to like help me through the process emotionally. But yeah, like at the end of the day, I think that Superhero Life 4 has the chance to be a bigger game than any of the Superhero Life ones. Like you can feel it, right? Like this game's looking really good. Superhero Life 2 has been played a quarter billion times. This one could be a billion. This one could be the one people remember, Like, and that's a good feeling. I like having that feeling. Hopefully it's a reality too. Yeah, let's see. The yeah, I think honestly, Hero, the idea of like joint pain and like, having like, limitations to your own physical, real life body. I feel like that's the reason VR is never going to work. Like, don't get me wrong, I've played fun VR games. I've enjoyed VR. Best VR game I found, Super Hot. If you haven't played it and have a VR headset, definitely recommend. Second one is Google Earth. I really like Google Earth. Such a cool little project. Why don't we get more of it, Um, and I think that for the most part, yeah, VR Google Earth, it's so cool. Because they even have like day and night cycles where you can, which I care a lot about night cycles. And you can literally like, point at the sky and like drag the sun around. It's very cool. And then the little photo spheres, like the street views and stuff, feel so much different when you're in VR. So yeah, if you have a VR headset, I think it's an Oculus Rift is the one I used. I owned it for a few years, but it broke, and then I missed the RDC where they gave out free ones. Anyway, I'm going to RDC this year, so maybe they'll give out more. They won't, but maybe. Mm, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Deadpool game. I watched cutscenes from it. That was. I don't want to endorse it because realistically, Deadpool from that era of gaming is probably the edgiest thing you can imagine. So, you know, but hey, if you like Deadpool, I remember that game felt true to the character. How did I make the animations? In 5 minutes with minimal skills and effort. Uh, but yeah, no, I've never been that much of an animator. I'm open to getting more good at it. It's just I I haven't ever had a necessity. Um, but I'm trying to get the combat stuff to feel better in this game. So I'll probably have to get better at it for that way. But yeah, no, for the most part, the animations here are literally like the minimum. I make them look a little bit better by like having some physics stuff, like having, you know, like the movement of the character makes it look a little bit less bad, but still not perfect or good for that matter. The capes, right now it seems that the game's half broken, so I can't change this character, unfortunately. Um, yeah, but I can say that if you look at I think the previous streamer, a stream or two ago, you'll see that we were doing some stuff with capes. Uh, but yeah, so I do really like Ragdoll. Um, if I do add a Ragdoll button, that would be something for like a custom server mode. Because I'd love to have like GTA 5 ragdolling where if you fall from a tall area, but like you're not facing the ground in the correct direction, like that there's like a certain height where you'll just ragdoll. Um, I think that could be pretty fun. Because or even just if you get punched, you should ragdoll. You know, like certain impacts should instantly ragdoll you and send you flinging across the map. So that's the dream, at least. Now making that replicate across clients, that is the nightmare. So we'll see how that goes. Um, what plugins do I use? Uh, I don't do too much crazy stuff. I mostly use the geom tools. Um, why is this called this? The magic wand thing is pretty good. You can it basically allows you to just select things of like the same like color, like you would in a different thing. So that one's pretty good, you know. What else is there? For the most part, I like these buildings right here. They're actually coded. If you check out the let's see, where did I put that? Yeah, I literally have just like a script that I wrote on stream that generates all of these different designs. Um, So, if you want to get good at building, what I'd recommend, get a little bit good at programming. Because you'd be shocked how many times, just being able to do some basic C-frame math and basic generative code uh, can really enhance your game. You shouldn't over rely on it. That's a mistake I've made before. But I think that with this, we have some pretty nice towers as a result. Um, Let's see. But no, the geometry tools, if you just want to connect things, those are good. Um, hey there, Rex. Good seeing you. Yeah, I'm probably going to be here for another 10 minutes. So you have 10 minutes to ask me questions, which is good because it seems like, I still am shocked that there's like, not only does the stream still have like 15 to 20 people in it, but like the average view duration is like 13 minutes. Now I can tell you the average play session in Superhero Life 2 is not 13 minutes. It's like 7 or something. So, it feels good. Uh, yeah, it feels good. Um, let's see. I saw someone in Superhero Life 4 Ideas make an expanded map. Yes, I have. I have seen that. So I like expanded maps. I'm no stranger to drawing out a cool map. Um, the thing is, both me and the person who made that map have the same problem, which is if you look at that map that they made, you'll notice it's mostly empty, and that's because drawing terrain and a cool looking island, that's easy. Filling that island with interesting stuff, that's where you get lost. And so I found that when it comes to expanding the map, I want to figure out what I'm adding first, and then build the terrain under it. Like this map is pretty standard. I think we could probably add some more stuff over here. Like let's say we wanted to have what? Everyone's talking to me about the suburbs. I don't want to add suburbs, but let's just say we add suburbs right here. We could just add the street grid and then expand the terrain out to match it. And then we just kind of add evenly in all directions, and slowly the map grows. Like this is, I feel, a much better way to actually expand maps. And yeah, and as a result, though, you can't really plan it all out beforehand because that defeats the point. You make what you have the budget to make, which is one new map area at a time. So yeah, I probably will expand this map. I don't know if how much I'll expand it. Rendering in Roblox has gotten pretty good. This is a pretty good shot. This is like background material. But yeah, should I make a Superhero Life 2 AU comic? Go for it. I love it when people make Superhero Life 2 stuff. It's very inspirational. Nothing makes me want to sit down and do like 8 hours of coding on Superhero Life 4 than seeing a cool community creation. So that's very motivating, and please keep it up. Um, yeah, the I want to add like an art gallery of all the stuff y'all make in the game at some point. Because right now the only thing we have is Sarah's wonderful edition, which, in fairness, it is it is my favorite. Is that mean to say? He made like an oil canvas painting of the Superhero Life 1 thing, and then sent it to me back in like 2017 just on a whim. How could that not be my favorite? You know, I it's not a diss on everything else that everyone else has made, but like, let's not kid ourselves. It's literally in the game. You know, it's cool. So yeah, the key to getting stuff in the game is you paint it. You know, um, yeah, and Sarah, if you are listening to this and you realize I misunderstood and you didn't actually paint it, don't tell me. I'm so much happier thinking you painted it. Let's see. Yeah, that's the thing, Z. That's something which I did a lot when I was first learning how to build. I would like try to get the angles and stuff perfect. Honestly, the sooner you can kind of let go of that and accept that not everything's going to be lined up perfectly, it'll get you so much farther. Like it's if you can make sometimes it makes sense to put in the effort to line things up perfectly. I think I did that a reasonable amount in this game, but then also there were times where it's like I'm just going to put the tree approximately here. Um, yeah, and it's just building up that skill. Uh, so when I build, let's see, I appreciate it, Rex. Hey there, Eric. Yeah, so sorry for the delay. Yeah, no, I'm doing weekly. I've started a full-time job, which is good for money, but does slow down progress on this. But it's a fun job. I do enjoy it. So it's not like don't pity me. It's just explaining the fact that we are not going to be having daily streams where stuff actually gets done. I'm going to hopefully make some cool stuff and then show you all once a week, and we can talk about it, have ideas, have discussions. You can enjoy my wonderful personality. And yeah, I think that so I won't be streaming tomorrow. It will be a weekly thing. In fact, it'll be weekly at this time. Um, so I guess keep that in your calendars if you want. Uh, the but yeah, so goal is to make steady progress, but mostly off screen because like when I work on the game these days, it'll be like half an hour in the evenings. It'll be like like maybe a few hours on a Saturday, and yeah, so it's not as predictive, but you know, game's still having progress done, and I think it's in a good space. Like we have a character editor working, we have superpowers, we have a map. It's what a superhero life game is. Yeah, so I will not be streaming again tomorrow. But whenever you build terrain, do you always use a brush tool? So um, I use a few different things. I like using the stamp tool, the terrain stamper. It's by Tyridge77. Look up Tyridge 77. It is 77, right? Tyridge probably 77. I've talked to this guy so much. I have to know the numbers. Anyway, Tyridge, the guy who made the Wild Wild West, he's made so many cool different terrain things. I've even helped him kind of with some of them. Um, yeah, what I prefer to do is I like using an external tool. For example, I use a tool called World Creator, which actually does some very interesting like logic-based workflow stuff that allows you to generate very specific terrain. I like going from there and then adding that, like loading that into Roblox and then making modifications to it. Uh, that is, I feel, the better workflow because a lot of terrain is very natural, like it's erosion, it's gravity, it's minerals, and you can be kind of deterministic with that, like you understand intuitively that when a hill is too steep, the dirt falls away and you're left with rock, and that's how you get cliffs. And then like when a mountain's too high, it gets colder and it starts getting icier at the top, like so I think that terrain, the first draft is arguably best done generatively. And then once you generate that, then you start sort of adding on to it. You start cutting away and building your world on top of it. But yeah, so World Creator is a tool I recommend if you're interested in that. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't want to make the suburbs. I'm not saying that we can't ever have anything like that, but it is so boring. I know y'all all grew up in the suburbs. I did too. I get it. I get it. But there's a reason the superhero fights happen in the city. Yeah, I don't know. It, I'm not saying it won't happen. It just I will be kicking and screaming until then. Let's see. Sorry, Jeff. It's okay. You don't gotta paint. I am motivated by anything anyone makes, but if you do paint, the odds of me adding it to the game go up exponentially. That's the lesson here. Um, ooh, bridges and trains, solid choice. What am I working on Superhero Life 4 specifically? So right now I am cleaning up my code. I took all of the I took all the paths and converted them to string paths, which is a surprisingly intensive process because it basically I have to actually go through and compile like the entire game into like these different things. So it's a headache. It's worth it if you can do it, and I could do it. And now I can actually read my require paths, which is nice. If you look at my old code, just in any of the previous streams, you'll see this is so much better now. And so I was working on that. I'm pivoting how I'm doing UI, which is just going to be boring. But once that's done, we're probably going to do some more. Probably gonna be superpowers next, honestly. And just getting back into that. Because the character customization is more or less okay. We have to do some character selection, of course, and power customization, but like, things are going in the right direction. Um, let's see. Uh, Perfect delay. I'm glad that we're busy in synchronization, Eric. Hopefully college is going well. Yeah, let's see. So Dup, I fully believe that you can make something cool enough to be worth pinning. The problem is there are so many talented artists in my community that I will quickly get in trouble if I start pinning people's stuff. You know? Yeah, it's kind of like how I know that I'm my mom's favorite kid, but if she admits that, it causes drama with my sisters. So we have to all accept that like I'm only secretly the favorite kid. But yeah, so that's how we're gonna play it. To whichever community artist is speaking to me at the moment, you're my favorite. Just don't tell anyone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The stream watchers. Yeah. hmm Hey, no, perfectly fine, Eric. I finished in a summer semester as well. Yeah, I transferred universities, so it messed up my exit trajectory a little bit. But it was a worthwhile transfer. I transferred to get into a game design program, and I'd like to think I'm still using those skills a little bit. But yeah, what you have no proof that I said that. I only said it on a recorded live stream, and nobody watches the recordings of it. Um, let's see. But also, actually, the second somebody watches the live stream to see if I did in fact say that, they become a stream watcher and are now my favorite. So nobody can be upset about this. Um, Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. All right. But yeah, I mean, like I could let's see. Where were you streaming when you started the Superhero 3 dev? Oh, I was streaming at a local esports facility in Indiana in Westfield. I believe they've moved. It was called Game On. I know the guy's still doing some coding classes in the thing called Hope Training Academy. So like, check that out if you're in Indiana and want to learn some coding. But yeah, no, very very nice guy. Basically, he had a little streaming setup for the whole esports thing, and the idea was I could use the full setup if I streamed on his channel, and win-win. It was a nice setup, kept me social, uh, good introduction to streaming. But then I went back to college. Um, let's see. Yeah, I wish I still had those though. That's the thing I don't like about Twitch. Twitch doesn't keep your stuff. Like the live streams I've done on YouTube, I'm gonna be able to look back at those and think, okay, yeah, that was good. I can check in, and that feels good. I like having that bit of memory kind of saved somewhere. Um, yeah, but yeah, so Z, can I make videos about tips on coding slash building? Um, I mean, I'll make an educational video sometimes. For example, I have some stuff on game analytics and design. Though arguably that was a different time for sure. Like back in 2020 when I was making those, I would say that there were a lot fewer people familiar with that kind of stuff. The game changes so quickly. The kind of things that people need to learn about, shift over time. I will say though, if you want to get good at coding and building, coding's a lot easier in many ways because you can ask ChatGPT, and that'll help you get through some blocks. But like at the end of the day, just make stuff. That's how you get good at it. You work on it. You engage with it critically. Like you make something, share it with others, and then not just your friends. Like post it places. because people will tell you if they don't like it. People will give you ideas. People will tell you ways to improve it. People love doing that. And you'll get better. Like every time somebody asks me how to become better at game development, I feel like they're kind of missing the true threat. The thing which will stop you from becoming a game developer is not your intellect. It's not your ability. It's not whether you could figure out how to do what I do. It's figuring out why you want to do it. It's figuring out how to get up and do it every day, even when it's boring, even when it's a headache. The people who become game developers are people who found an equilibrium that allows them to keep doing this every single day. And so, yeah, I would say focus on figuring out what keeps you excited, what keeps you motivated, and then do that. That's how you get far. That's how you surpass the competition. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today, though. Yeah, I went a little bit overtime, but also I haven't talked to you in a while, so it's fine. I can feel my social battery. It's atrophied a little bit. Um, yeah, but no, it's gonna be weekly. I'm gonna be setting up these things weekly. Y'all aren't getting rid of me. Weekly at this time. Yeah, it's been good talking to y'all again. Hopefully next time that I'm around, I'll actually have some more stuff to show off. But yeah, no, the days of me disappearing mysteriously for long amounts of time are gone. I think this is a much healthier, sustainable thing, you know? Oh, unfortunately, I'm definitely not on Fridays because I volunteer at this one place locally on Friday evenings. Saturday, Sunday is not impossible. I will say the idea of it becoming Saturday, Sunday is not impossible. It's just like one of those days I should probably relax, and which day that is seems to flip flop. But I do want, I want you to show up. Like that's the thing. Like I put a little poll out for people to fill out which days work best for them, and then only four people. I begged y'all to fill that out. Ah, but only like four people showed up and actually filled it out, and so this current one works best for four of y'all. Um, so yeah. Um, I Let's see. Well, hey, Eric, I'm glad you're able to make it today. I Let's see. Do you want to do it on Sundays? Is everyone here pro Sundays? This, by the way, this means not this Sunday. It means the Sunday after that. Hey there, Brandon. Glad you could make it. Good to see you again. Z, I know you want me to do it every day of the week. I don't want to do it every day of the week. It's too much. And I'm not doing enough cool things. It was easier to do it every day of the week when I was actually doing interesting stuff every day. Now it's like I've refactored this code. Woo-hoo. It looks exact the same to y'all, but it's a little bit less stressful for me to work with. All right, 2 a.m. Actually, that is closer to my sleep schedule than you might believe. Okay, let's see. The No, I'm a developer with many directions. I can make multiple games at once. In fact, I'm actually on every dev team. Yeah, all of them hired me. Yeah, every game you've played, I made. You're welcome. Um, but yeah, so I guess is everyone here okay with the Sunday streams? Well, what's everyone thinking about that? Let's see. It's on my calendar. Oh, just a heads up. Actually, hold up. Okay, just a heads up, Eric. Because I've already streamed today, I'm not going to be streaming this Sunday. and next Sunday is RDC. So we're probably going to change the weekly live streams to be Sunday coming September 15th. All right. So that is the okay. I'm not streaming live at RDC. You don't understand how much RDC drains me socially. I can't talk to an audience as well. Yeah, like this is how RDC works for me. Everyone says like, "Hey, which parties are you going to?" And me here knowing full well that after 8 hours of socializing with my colleagues, I will have gathered enough stupid things that exited my mouth to give me years of trauma, and I need to go back to my hotel room to cool off for like the evening. Like, yeah, that's the that is the CJRDC experience. Yeah, the let's see. Heroes, I don't know if you're saying that ironically, but my Superhero Life 3 character in is actually called the developer. I'm very creative like that. We're in sync, you and I. Yeah, it's like me and like the William Defoe Goblin, like just like we're not that different. I can't do impressions. I'm sorry. I can sometimes make games. Sometimes. Mhm. But anyway, yeah, best of luck with college, Eric. You got this. You're almost through. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I feel like we needed to have like a Green Goblin edit of "They Not Like Us." Yeah, yeah. I actually, yeah, that'd be nice. Sabbatical would be quite nice. Okay, but anyway, it's great talking with y'all. I will catch you next Wednesday, and then after that Wednesday, it will be streams will probably shift to Sunday so we can include Eric. We'll talk more about that when it gets closer, though. And yeah, all right. I will talk to y'all later. Thank you so much for joining me. And let's, you know, keep in contact, and hopefully I'll make a really cool game to show y'all. All right. Peace.